this is Lady Boulay, and I hope you're having a most marvelous day. Thank you for your support. Thank you for subscribing to the channel. Thank you for your thumbs up, for your comments, and thank you for sharing the videos. Thank you for all you do to support the channel, and we are commanded to love one another. Well, I haven't been keeping up with what's going on any of the Love and Hip Hop franchises, but it has gone viral that on Love and Hip Hop Atlanta, that a Latina, Afro-Latina or whatever she is, called a black woman a blue monkey. Now, you just have to stop and wrap your mind around some of this stuff. This woman, whose name is Erica Mensah or something or other, nests in black spaces. She has children by black men, and she's on a franchise that is really about black women and their relationship to the hip-hop business and so forth. Now you have to ask yourself, how arrogant do you have to be depending on black people for your livelihood and then come in a black space and call somebody a blue monkey? It really takes the cake for arrogance, but it also points to us again as African descended people, that people who have some type of admixture that's non-black have no problem coming into our spaces and elevating themselves over us. I have learned from experience that it doesn't matter how much you talk about the psychological damage that calling someone a racial slur does, or about the historical context of it and how it was used against black people and how it is used to hurt black people emotionally and psychologically. It doesn't matter how much you talk about that. People do not care. When they get mad, they are going to go to the lowest possible place. The place where they think is going to hurt you the most and do the most damage. So I'm at a place now where I say, when somebody offends us like that, the only question to be asked is, how do we exact cost? What is the cost of you disrespecting my humanity? And what do I have to leverage against you? Because I'm not going to keep spending my time trying to teach you. I'm not going to go through history, and I'm not going to go figure out any kind of psychological way of dealing with you. I'm going straight to that pocketbook. And who did we learn that from? It is the most effective strategy when you are dealing with people. People think they have all kinds of rights when they come to the United States. And especially think they can just say anything to black people. And we have been so timid in the past of saying, no, you don't get to talk to me like that. Or you don't get to talk to us like that. Who are you? Who are you that you think you can come up in here and talk to me like that? Well, this is the cost. This is what it's going to cost you to disrespect me and overlook my humanity. This is what it's going to cost you. I've heard black people talking about, oh, you know how much damage that word does and how horrible it is to call a black person a monkey, and oh, she just should know better. Well, of course she knew better. She knew better. But because she got mad, and because she has some proximity to whiteness more so than Spice, she thought that she would go into her white supremacist bag of tricks and throw a racial slur at Spice. And that is what she did. She called this very interesting looking Jamaican woman, whose name is Spice, a blue monkey. And for that, she was fired from Love and Hip Hop Atlanta. And I just read an article on MSN, and this is part of what the article says. Erica Mena probably deserved to be fired. She has a history of making racially insensitive and colorist remarks, and this allegedly isn't the first time she's used the monkey slur towards a black person. She has a history of co-signing colorism, despite being the mother of black children. Her attitude speaks to a much larger issue within black and Afro-Latino communities, and is an issue one can see that producers have had no desire to really address in the past. So this was not just a one-offer for her. She's been doing this all the time, and nothing was done about it. So this was a case of giving a fool enough rope to hang herself. So she hung herself. And maybe she thought on some level what she was doing was cute. And maybe it did bring up the ratings. But at the end of the day, playing the race card and name calling is never a good strategy. You need to have something going for yourself beside the ability and the guts to call somebody a racial slur on a nationally syndicated program. I heard Dr. Umar Johnson speak on this, and he said that Erica Mena owes not only Spice, but black women and black people an apology. If she's running around here calling herself an Afro-Latina, she owes black people an apology, because she should know that this is something that we don't do. It is not acceptable. Which really does beg the question, how does she identify? Because any black person from any part of the world knows that it is totally unacceptable to call a black person any kind of monkey. It is unacceptable. So the fact that she did that, and this is not the first time that she's done it, should make black Americans blackball her from all black American women's spaces. She has no place in black American women's spaces if this is how she feels about black women. And if she feels this way about black women, she feels this way about black men too, including her children, evidently. I mean, the whole argument was about Spice saying something about her son not liking her. So maybe he has a good reason not to like her. She might be throwing racial slurs around her house as well. How much of a black identity does she really have? And clearly she has no respect for whatever black identity she might have. She has no respect for that, because that is a no-no. It is completely and absolutely taboo. That is what people say who are anti-black. Enemies of black people say things like that. So the question is, how does she identify? Well, I'm going to state my opinion definitively, and that is that she should never be accepted in the sorority of black American women. Now the question is being raised, why did they let her get away with this for so long? She has a history of using these racial slurs and making insensitive, colorist remarks. Why didn't they do something about it before now? Well, we know ratings is a part of it. Maybe she was a big ratings getter. But the producer of this show is a black woman. So you have to wonder, why would she let her get away with that for so long? I'm sure they were trying to be politically and legally correct, because I don't know what her contract says, but she has been fired, and that is the right move to make for somebody behaving in the way that she has behaved in the past and would continue to behave if something wasn't done about it. So the only way to hurt people like her is to hit them in the pocketbook. You can do all the talking, all the training. You can go back through history all you want to, but nothing is going to help somebody like her but to hit her in the pocketbook. I don't know about y'all, but it always surprises me when non-white people try to use white people's talking points against black people. She would go into a white people's talking point, talking to another black woman, somebody that she should be bonding with, at least on some level. They are each other's meal ticket. That show is keeping all of them going, I'm sure, otherwise they wouldn't be on it. But she would take a white person's, a white supremacist talking point and hurl it at another black woman. So this should be a cautionary tale for these so-called Afro-Latinas. Your wake-up call is coming. You won't continue to get away with playing both sides against the middle. I'm black, I'm not black. I'm black when it's convenient, but I'm really not black when you make me mad. So this really should be a cautionary tale for them to know that a wake-up call is coming if you continue to do that. Because this isn't the first time that we've heard about a so-called Afro-Latina hurling racial slurs and trying to put black women down because they make them mad. And always at the root of these confrontations is some black man who is not doing what he's supposed to do, not living up to his responsibilities to anybody. But somehow they're going to get mad about something to do with him, and in her case, at least for the time being, ruin her livelihood. So now on this Labor Day, she's out of a job. And from what I can tell, she can't sing, she can't dance, and she can't act. But now she's going to have to find employment to match what she was making on this reality show. So hopefully she'll have time to really think and meditate over her actions and how she needs to behave going forward, because there is no other community that she's going to be able to go in hurling racial slurs at people. So black Americans flex their power in this situation. Black women came for Mena, and that is why she got fired, because otherwise she probably would have carried on as usual. But this time apparently black women said enough, we're not going to take this anymore. So what's the takeaway from this? When you have something to leverage against a person like that, the only thing to do is use it. The only reason she was fired was because of pressure. And that's what I say, pressure. If pressure is what it's going to take to put her in her place and get her fired, apply the pressure and get her fired. And the next time it comes up, do it again. This is the same thing with that Fresh and Fit. They ran and ran until they ran out. But black American women were always on their case. Somebody came to me telling me, well, it wasn't because of black women. It was because of what they said about the Jews, or it's what they said. No, it was all of it. It was all of it. Everybody has to do their part. When somebody is doing something offensive to black Americans, you shouldn't wait until they do something to another group of people to get retribution. You go after them when they come after you. So it was extremely rewarding for me to know that black people jumped right on this woman's case and got her fired. Regardless to why they fired her, they fired her. And that's a lesson for her, because she wouldn't be out there using racial slurs against any other group of people except black people. And that's who she's nesting with. That's who she's having children with. And if you have so little respect for a race of people, why are you bringing people into the world of that race when you know you don't have any respect for them? Black American women, again, did the right thing. Go after these people when they do insulting and offensive things, because they're not going to learn any other way. Because white supremacy has taught the world that when you get mad at a black person, this is what you do. Call them a name. They got a couple of them in their bag of tricks. So go into your bag of tricks and start calling them names. And call until you get the right one. And you get the right response. And that's what she did. So we won't hold our breath for an apology, but we can rest assured that when they pull that paycheck back, that's a lesson that nobody will have to teach her again. Okay, y'all, let me know what you think about the video. Subscribe to the channel, give me a thumbs up, leave a comment, share the video, and as always, have a great day.